My name is Graeme McMillan. I am the founder of Win Fitness. Coach, operator, I share it with my wife Jenna, so co-owners with that. So we've been open now we'd be coming up on 6 years in total. It changes every year, so like gym ownership, definitely you go through the peaks and troughs with it and different goals, different objectives and stuff, but always progress, that's the main thing. Found CrossFit myself personally, kind of early 30s, and it really just struck home. It was exactly what I was looking for without knowing what I was looking for, and just fell in love with it. And that just coincided with some lifestyle changes for myself and Jenna. We just had our son, Jackson, and then within maybe about a year, we kind of realised that he was autistic and he was going to have some special needs. So that meant that we needed some lifestyle changes to go along with that. And it just, a lot of kind of things lined up for us at the perfect time, and we were out in Qatar at the time, we were out in the Middle East. So it's just, I say opportunity. It was just like, hey, we are going to need to come home for help for Jackson. What we're going to do for work. We were deep, way deep in the cult hole, the Kool-Aid drinking CrossFit mode. So like, hey, let's just take a shot at this. And if it doesn't work out, that's fine. But it's a good chance to kind of take it on and then never look back. Like, failure wasn't an option, I guess. But hey guys, bring in. So when we initially came back, we kind of moved around some other local gyms, kind of got to know the thing. Something unique about us in this area was that we were never members of other CrossFit gyms. So most commonly what happens is somebody's a member of a gym and they decide to start their own and they're going to open a gym in a location, and sometimes those members move from gym to gym and all that. There's a bit of politics involved. We're just very fortunate. There was just like, hey, here's these two guys came in from Qatar and up, CrossFit gym. So I think that really helped us build our community from scratch, because we weren't taken from other places or weren't trying to replicate another culture of another gym. So we had this fresh start, which was fantastic. It was great for us, and we just started meeting so many great people. So we started down at Barrack Street, very different location to what we're in now. It was obviously a lot smaller. It had low ceilings, it had 10-foot ceilings, so there was no full-size wall balls, there was no muscle-ups, there was no rope climbs, but we got really fit, which was the main thing. So started there, started small, and it just kept growing. People just kept showing up and the community grew, the culture was exactly what we wanted it to be, and we just kept growing. So we were there for 3 or 4 years we were there. We navigated COVID and lockdown and all that. We'd actually only been open 6 or 7 months before that hit.
Hi team, welcome to Home WOD number 10.
But like I said, when I talk about the culture community, we just already had maybe almost 100 members at that point who were just all in, just like we were. So it was like we found the right people, which was the big goal of starting a gym, was find the right people. That really helped us get through that kind of 6 months to a year of lockdown and all that, and we came out the other side of it, in my opinion, stronger than we went in. And that really just set us up for where we are now, heading into year 6. So after 4 years of being there, and then we ended up making a shift here, up to Blantyre, so we took this big unit on.
And this time, it is massive.
Built the gym exactly how we wanted this time. We got to shape it, we built this bit here, Encore, the big main gym, and really bespoke to our needs. We weren't trying to fit a CrossFit gym in a space to make it work. We got to create exactly what we thought would work for Win Fitness, and thankfully it has, and it still is. So. So the community here, and this was, so it goes into a bit of our kind of origin story as well. We lived in the Middle East, so that's where we found CrossFit. So the box that we were a part of was multicultural. You would go into a class of 18 people, there would be 18 different nationalities, right? And it was amazing for us. We were very much Scotland born and raised, right? So if you're Scottish, you understand, right? That's an exposure that you're not used to, right? But it really changed our mindset. It changed us fundamentally who we were as people by being more open to different cultures, religions, types of people, all of that. That was a it wasn't just the fitness that was changing our lives, it was that more open-mindedness, that more positive attitude, that, hey, we can go and do these things, and that. We really got that from a CrossFit community, which was massive for us. So that was such a huge driver about what we wanted to create here. We were trying to replicate that positive environment where you're getting fitter, you're getting healthier, but you're also becoming a better person. That's what we try to replicate in Scotland. That ain't that easy, right? The Scottish mentality, not that it's a completely negative, is we just tend towards pulling people back rather than pushing them forward, right? That's pretty common, right? Somebody's doing better than somebody else, try and pull them back, right? Yeah, we're funny with it and there's a Scottish humour thing and all that, but we tend to have a negative attitude towards most things first. We were trying to do the opposite of that. So we were trying to find like-minded people. We were trying to find people like us who are willing to maybe change their viewpoints, do something a little bit different, a little bit counter-culture, if you like. And I think CrossFit was that. It was a different way of training. Doing something that everybody else is like, oh, that's different. So we went looking for people who, and I think if you look around who's in the gym, that is who we got, is people who were usually, if you look at your friend group, you were the type of guy or woman who was likely to be the outlier. The person who would try something new, do something different. When your 6 friends would play football, you'd go and play basketball. When your 5 friends wanted to go down the park and drink, you would maybe go for a run. Like, you were the person who would be willing to try something different. And somehow, we managed to bring now over 200 of those people together, which that for me is what this community is. It's all those people getting together, and when you get those people together, amazing things happen, because that, when you're not feeling as self-conscious, when you're encouraged to try new things or move into different things, like when you get those people together, like that's unbelievable. Do you know what I mean? That's what real community for me is, and that's what I think the culture is at Win. And this is just a little anecdote for me as well. Again, I was your typical Scottish person, right? I don't know what that means, right? But for me, I had maybe read 1 or 2 books in my life, right? When I got there, I started trying new things, started reading business books, self-help books, all that kind of stuff. Listening to podcasts for the first time, that all came from starting CrossFit. I never forget the time that I was in after a class where having a conversation with somebody who was, I think they were South African, I recommended a book to somebody. Oh, you should read this book. That was so far out my comfort zone that for me to do that, I was like, wow, I've changed as a person. So I was like, I want to help other people find that, because it felt so good for me to be willing to change as a person for the better, that I thought if we can help other people do that through fitness and something we love, then that's the one, you know. And I think we're there. Like, I think we've got that in here. I think we do. Put it selfishly, me and Jenna were trying to find people who were like us, you know? Like, we had lived in another country for 4 or 5 years, and we came back, our existing friend group and people, family and all that, were doing the exact same thing. We had moved on, we'd made this big seismic shift in mentality and all that, and we came back and it was like, oh, these people are all just doing the same thing. And that's not bad on them, it was just like, there must be other people who are willing to make that jump like us. And it's now, I just come in here and I'm surrounded by that. Like, how can you not want to do amazing things? And for me personally too, like, I've went out and done so many things that I never thought, like, got a media company now and we're doing streaming, and like, that was never on my radar, but that's only made possible by being surrounded by other people who have the same ideas or same want to go and do things, you know? I think that's a huge part of it. So I love it. Yeah, perfect.